What is just-in-time inventory management? Well, this involves two parties, a retailer of goods and a supplier of goods. That is the supplier of inventory for the retailer to resell. Okay, so this is a pull-based system whereby the traditional model, whereby a retailer simply orders a great deal of inventory from the supplier, it sits on hand and then is ultimately sold to consumers. The retailer has to project the needs and make that lump sum order from the supplier. There's a great deal of uncertainty in this because, one, the retailer does not know how quickly or easily it's going to sell all of the inventory on hand, which means the supplier has no real knowledge of when the next order of inventory is coming. So the just-in-time system means that the retailer is simply placing orders to meet a shorter time frame for consumer demand. That is, oftentimes the seller will receive purchase orders and then order the inventory at that time. And this has a lot of effects. One, for the retailer, there's no need to keep as much inventory on hand ready to sell to customers because it can be produced just in time by the supplier. Likewise, the supplier has come up with a means of producing this just in time. So once again, there's no need to hold a lot of inventory on hand to meet the needs of retailers who are purchasing in large sums. Okay, there are a number of operational effects here. Number one, okay, so we talked about it reducing the inventory needs, the holding cost for both parties, the retailer as well as the supplier. But it also, on the supplier side, it reduces the need for having many production runs. That is, there can be a more continuous process throughout, and you don't have to, once again, separate things into large runs to meet these bulk orders. Okay. Two, production sales. Generally, the production orders are broken into sales, whereby the supplier ushers the production process through each stage of production. So if you can eliminate long queues at each part of the production stage and all of the scrap materials, that type of thing, building up at each queue, then again, this is an operational efficiency for the supplier. When the sales are closer together, you reduce the amount of work in progress inventory that exists with the supplier in that process as it moves through the different sales or different stages of production. Okay, you can deliver in smaller quantities, which has an effect on, again, the holding aspect, but also the delivery and logistics aspects for the supply chain. You can certify quality in advance or do your quality inspections in advance rather than waiting for all of the production to happen and then you have it arrive on site and then you do all your inspection at one time. It can be more of a gradual process through quality assurance and testing. And then again, there are oftentimes operational efficiencies, particularly in the supply chain, when these suppliers are closer to the retailers in the process, okay, or the production facility is not far from the delivery to where it'll be delivered to the customer, client, or end user. It reduces, once again, even further the need for safety stock or keeping additional stock on hand to meet customer needs. Okay, so all of these are huge advantages of the just-in-time inventory management system.